Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday, and BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book ideas, thoughts, recommendations, something bookish related. So today's topic is these covers don't match the story. So I'm sure I'm not alone when I've come across the book and maybe have made some assumptions based on a cover, which I know you're not supposed to do, and have been completely wrong. Not that it impacted the story, I still enjoyed all of these books, I'm just curious as to why these specific covers. So the first one I want to talk about is The House on Fripp Island by Rebecca Kaufman. I am confused by this cover because it is clearly a family going into a pool, and this story follows actually two families as they go and summer or take a little vacation on Fripp Island, which one of the families won some charity event or something, ended up asking the other family. So that we have the one family who's fairly well off and the other one who's kind of not, and Fripp Island is kind of like the Hamptons, like very prestigious people go there. And when you go to Fripp Island, you stay in a beach house on a beach. No pool. There's no pool. So I'm not really sure where the pool on the cover comes from, but still a fantastic book. I gave it 4 stars. Next book I want to talk about, this is one of the cover options. I think is an older one. I know this isn't the one that a lot of people see. I feel like I have like a unique edition of this copy, but it's What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty. I have this orange copy with these cutouts of like a house, a ring, and then the family, which I guess goes with the story. And basically the story is we have our main character, Alice. She's 29. Her life is fantastic. She's pretty optimistic about it. She, I'm trying to think of how it was. She just got married to her husband, Nick. They're expecting their first baby. She's all excited about it. And then all of a sudden she wakes up one day and it's 10 years later. And she doesn't know what has happened in that 10 years. She has now 3 kids, which that makes sense with the 3. She's at a gym, which she never really thought she would ever go work out at a gym. So basically we're dealing with a bunch of amnesia and kind of figuring out how her life got completely derailed in those 10 years. But this cover doesn't do much for me, as well as inside. I'm not really sure how that totally ties in with the story, which is probably why there aren't a lot of books out there with this cover. Because now they're all, like Liane Moriarty now has like a look and feel to her covers now, which they did come out with a What Alice Forgot like that. So that one's just an anomaly in my opinion. Next books I want to talk about is the Duchess Steel. There's 3 of them out right now by Tessa Dare. They have this like romancy cover to them that I think doesn't fully represent the hilarious and sarcastic and entertaining side to these books, because it feels like, oh, this is just going to be this lovey-dovey romance book, and it's so much more than that. So I think it maybe sells the books a little short in my opinion. Duchess Steel follows our main character who ends up going to, I believe, this Duke's house and basically demanding payment for this wedding dress for the woman he was supposed to marry, but the wedding got called off and she never got paid for it. And so he basically is like, well, I need a wife pretty much, so how about you just be mine? You can have whatever you want. We don't have to have an actual relationship, but he just couldn't be single anymore, and it goes from there. And the banter between those two are hilarious, the way they pick at each other. It's so funny. It's so much more than just this kind of cheesy romance book that it might look like, which I believe a lot of those books have a little bit more to them. So I'm thinking these kinds of covers just need to go away, in my opinion. The next couple of books I want to talk about, it just seems to be kind of how Jodi Picoult is going with her covers. The first one I want to talk about is A Spark of Light. This has very bright colors. It feels vibrant. It gives me like happy feels, and that is so far from what this book is about. This book is about a hostage situation that takes place at an abortion clinic. Nothing happy, nothing pink, blue, purple, cloudish about it. So I'm kind of confused as to why this cover is chosen. Same thing with Small Great Things. I'm not entirely understanding this one. I don't think it portrays the seriousness of this book. This deals with race and really race wholeheartedly. This would be a really fantastic book to read right now. Pick it up. Just don't base it upon these colorful rectangles. I don't understand it. I think like it could have been done a little differently, a little better. And then the last book, 5 stars for both of those books, by the way. And if you have not read either of them, I don't know what you're waiting for. Just go do it. Last one I have is Evicted by Matthew Desmond. This is a true story based, actually takes place in Milwaukee in the 1990s, I want to say. And the cover, to a point, talks about what it is. It talks about really evictions mainly, but it follows, I think, 5 different families who all went through, no, 8 families in Milwaukee as they struggle to keep a roof over their heads. It gives you their background, it gives you the circumstances that they're in, why they're in those circumstances, what they've had to do, and why they had to make the decisions they did. It's way more than, I guess when I look at this cover, I think of one layer to this story, whereas in this you get 8 very different viewpoints. You also get viewpoints from the landlords and the people who are renting to these people who have been evicted. You get an understanding for why things are the way they are. It's more than just a person or a family getting evicted. It's this range of effects on these 8 different people. It's a really great book. I listened to this book. Very interesting perspective. Highly encourage anyone to pick this one up. I just don't think the cover tells you enough about what it is. So those are my ideas. I recommend all of these books. They're fantastic. Just don't think that what you see on the cover is what you're going to get inside, basically, is my piece of advice. So give me a comment below. Have you ever run into a book where you've made assumptions based upon the cover and it wasn't quite right? Or on the opposite end, it was really good? Because I did find some really great covers that depicted the stories fantastically. Maybe that will be another book list. I don't know. Anyways, head over to Sarah's channel, see what one she picked for us today. Otherwise, like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye.